Hi everybody, it's Lene. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel today. As you can see, we're going to be doing an envelope project. So you could use any size envelope that's that legal size. These are just recycled bill paying envelopes or credit card envelopes or junk mail envelopes, whatever you want to call them. And the only suggestion I would make here with those envelopes is to make sure that they're all the same size, and that I like to have the window or the opening sort of not interfering with that center fold, because we are going to be folding them in half. If they're over a little bit, it's fine. We're going to cover the binding. It'll be fine. But aesthetically, when you're putting it together, you might enjoy not having it in the way. So let's talk about how big these are. So there's 3 envelopes, and they're 8.5 by 3 3/4. 8.5 by 3 3/4. So let's talk about what we're going to do with these. So the first thing is one of them, well, 2 of them, we're going to fold in half. I'm trying to grab a bone folder here. Okay, really, really easy today, but it's going to look harder than it is, which is, I think, my favorite kind. There we go. And then as we go through this, I might switch it around and have it be this way. I'm not sure. So I do like to go ahead. I've been just doing this recently, actually. This isn't something you'll see in my older videos. I do like to fold it in both directions, so that it's just a little bit easier when you're moving it around. When you're turning those pages, they do turn easier if they are just able to move in more than one direction. All right, now this one is going to have a little bit of a line or a gusset down the center. Let me show you my prototype. All right, so this is what we're going for here. It's all kind of messed up at the moment. All right, so this one back here, this is the outer cover. And as you can see, it's got these 2 lines on either side of sort of like this scored line. That's what we're going to be working with next. The other 2 are just folded together, and look what I did with them. Okay, here's this cover one, and here's the 2 that we just folded in half. And we're just going to glue those to each of these little lines right here that we're making. Really easy, right? And so after we get things folded, we're going to ink the edges because we've got some like black lines sticking up and stuff. We want to kind of cover those. And then, who knows, it might be easier to cover these with patterned paper before we glue them together or after. We'll have to kind of work that one out. Patterned paper, let's talk about that. All right, so a nesting place, working with 6 by 6 again. This is just a little small surface, so I just think it's easier than cutting a lot of paper down, but use 12 by 12 if that's what you have. And also the images on 6 by 6 are smaller, so that works for a small surface. So let's take a look at these. Adorable, perfect for spring. And when I'm cutting these down to fit those envelopes, you're going to see a little border of all these little birdhouses. So cute. And I've used this paper pack before, and you might be able to find it in my playlist. I can't tell you specifically which ones, but you can, of course, if I haven't mentioned it, purchase it at Paper Wishes Hot Off the Press. And Paper Wishes is the name of the company. Hot Off the Press is the manufacturer name. And I'll put that link down below the video, and you can find it in the Paper Wishes supplies. I pretty much just have 2 supply lists down below my video. One is Amazon and one is Paper Wishes, so it makes it pretty easy to find things. All right, have I gone through all of these? Oh, no, I haven't. Here we go. I love the little bird nest and the little bird flying in. It's a really pretty kind of golden yellow. And then we've got a cutout sheet, and then this really pretty pink with swirls. And you guys, you're getting 24 sheets. Okay, so you're getting 4 of each of these. So there's lots to use. All right, so, for our last envelope, we're going to score this one the same as the others, 4 1/4. That's halfway. All right, and then we're going to score it a quarter. I keep wanting to say half an inch. 1/4 of an inch on each side. So that's 4 inches and 4.5 inches. So it's going to look like this. Okay, let's write that down here. So remember, we've got 3 envelopes and they're 8.5 by 3 3/4 of an inch. 2 of them, you're going to fold them in half, okay? And then one of them, this one, you're going to fold in half and then 1/4 inch on the right and left side of that fold, okay? So screenshot that if you need to. All right, then what we're going to do is we're going to fold these on those score lines. There we go. It's gotten so quiet because I'm concentrating. You guys do that thing when you're driving in the car and the radio's on, and then when you have to find where you're going and you have to pay attention, you turn the radio down because, and I've said this to my daughter, turn the radio down, I can't hear. When you're looking for something. Anyway, that's what it reminded me of when I said I was being quiet. All right, so maybe that's just the Lene thing. All right, so now we've got these 2 folded, and I went ahead and inked the edges. Okay, and I'm using just, I don't know if you can read this because it's kind of smeary, some cocoa bean ink. I'll put this down below the supplies from Paper Wishes. And as I said, we're just inking around. You don't have to do this, and it also depends on the envelope that you're using. But I've got these like dark marks up there, so I'm just going to try to camouflage them as much as possible. And then after we do this, I'm going to cut down some, should we cut down some paper? I think probably it would be easier in constructing this if we went ahead and glued it together. And then you guys would see how everything's flipping around. I'm afraid if I like covered the pages while it wasn't constructed, it would be more confusing. So, because that's not something I typically do. So let me know afterwards if you're like, you probably should have left it unassembled. And then I'll know. All right, a little bit more. And then also I like to make sure that the inside is inked as well. Sometimes it doesn't get done as well. The flaps I'm leaving unglued at this point and just leaving them open because I'm not sure if we're going to utilize the flaps yet. Maybe some of them we will. What's going on here? There we go. Okay, so you can see those little score lines much easier. So now we have to fold this part, okay? We're gonna fold on our little prototype here, we're gonna fold this part. So first thing we're gonna do is make sure that this is the front and this is going to stick out like this. Like that. It's a little tiny mountain. All right, you can see. All right, and then the pages are gonna get glued in on this side and then on this side. So before we do that though, I think I know that I wanna make, so I should have made some decisions here. I'm going to go ahead and open up these 2 flaps right here. So it's just easier to do this now than when everything is glued together. All right, and then I'm gonna take this little piece and we're just gonna glue it out of the way. Just stick that down. But these can open up. That's not a perfect cut. We'll make those better. Okay, so back to where we were. These are gonna be cute little flaps on the inside. Let's go ahead and ink those. This is terrible inking. There we go. It's more or less a reminder of me to revisit that later. All right, so now we're going to take this one. Okay, it's that one that's single folded, and we're gonna glue that one right here on this side of the fold. And the other one, there we go, I lost it for a moment. That one's gonna go on this side. Okay, so let's go ahead. Just put a line of glue there, I think is easy. And what you guys can see. And we're just gonna glue it to the left of this fold. And then you can fold this up. I know we're gonna have to trim that down, but there's the first part of our little fold outs. And then this one is going to go on this side. And this one, I'm folding it so that there's not all pockets like this on this side. So there's pockets on this side, there's not pockets on this side. Just to mix it up. You could glue yours in any order you wanted. Okay. So let's see, we know we need to trim these down because they're gonna get it in the way of the fold. But that's how it's looking so far. Kind of like that. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll trim these down. Let's see how far we need to trim them. Gosh, probably, yours is gonna look a little different depending on your envelopes, but I think a good 1/4 inch on this one. So, I'm trying to think what would be the best tool to use. I think we're done with the scoreboard. So I wanna keep it a nice trim. Okay, ooh, almost cut the wrong one. Oh, I'm just gonna use my scissors. Okay. There we go. Let's see how that's gonna look. So many flaps flipping around. Okay, still going in the right direction here. All right, this one, I may not be able to preserve this flap, but we'll see. Okay. It's working. All right. Okay, I think we are ready to start thinking about what papers we want to put on. And I've decided for the front cover, I want to use this pretty spring green. And when I trim this down, this will be what it looks like. So let me show you how I measure and kind of get an idea of where I want to cut. And then I'll give you the final measurement. So I sort of look at leaving a little border, okay, around like a little frame. So I just took my little pencil, went like this, and then like that. And then we just cut that, excuse me, little book. Like this. And then we have the other little one right up here. Like that. And then we can use these other little pieces for tags and for other things. And then I like to just sort of put a little bit of ink, not as much as I did around the envelope. If you have a little pencil mark, just erase it. Okay, and then that's going to go right on the cover, and that'll be so sweet. So let's measure and give you guys that. And then this should pretty much fit on most of the pages. You might have to trim it down a little bit occasionally, but it's going to fit really nicely there. The flap, we can take some extra scrap paper, we can put a little strip there, which I'll show you that. It'll fit here. Now when you get to these pages, because we did have to cut some down, it fits okay there. Let's see if it fits everywhere. That one's a little tighter. This one's a little longer here because this one's shorter. And then this one, ooh, that one just, yeah, it still fits. Okay, so there we go. So we're gonna go ahead and start cutting down papers and then putting those in, and then I'm gonna show you kind of the layout that I have, and then we'll talk about adding some more embellishments. And hey, sorry about the last clip. I forgot to put my mic in my camera, and that's why the sound was different. So I hope it's better now. All right, so I've gone ahead and added the front cover, and I needed to add a little ribbon there for a closure, but we can do the same thing on the back here to show you how I did that. Now I added, this is 3/8 inch wide gingham ribbon. I'll put the link for this down in the Paper Wishes supplies down below the video. It's about 7-inch long length. I've trimmed and inked my paper, and glue that right over the ribbon end. So that's our back cover. All right, now we can move on to, we're going to kind of work our way from the back because I've already got the front done. I just kind of wanted to show you how I did that. So this page right here with the little pocket, you notice that the pocket flaps aren't matching, so can't have that. So what I've done is I'm just sort of taking a pencil first, and you just want to kind of sketch that curve, a little bit of curve like that. And then we're going to just kind of go up like this, trim off that excess, and then just round that curve just a little bit. Ooh, that wasn't good. Let's try it again. Flip it around this way. Now we're just trying to get close to it. Okay, that's all right. We can work with that. All right, now we're going to glue this piece right here. And as I said, remember, most of these covers are about the same, but they vary a little bit in width. So about 3 3/4 of an inch by, this one's 3 1/4. I don't know if I should just write those down because they're going to be different every time, but we'll just go through and measure. There we go. And then I just took a little strip of paper here that's 3/4 of an inch wide. Doesn't matter really on the length, it just has to be a little bit longer than this piece. And we're going to glue this to the center. So it's going to be easier than covering that flap. Like that. We're going to open that up and just trim that right along that edge. There we go. Okay, so that part's done. This part right here. Okay, we can go ahead. Oops, I've already inked the edges just on the 3 sides because I'm going to make a pocket out of this one, a different kind of pocket. And we're going to glue that one right there. And then this is just one of the scrap pieces. As I've cut things down, when you have pieces like this and you're using these along here, you still have the top part. So this is one of those pieces. And then I'm going to take my 1 1/2 inch, oops, 1 1/2 inch circle punch. And we're just going to put a little notch there, right about there. I'm only using about 1/3 of the circle, and I want to have about the same amount on each side, like this. And then we're going to just ink that little notch and the edges. Go. And then this is going to go down here for our little pocket. So once again, we're only gluing that on 3 sides. Putting that right there, leaving that border. All right, so that page is done. Now, once again, we have a pocket here. Now my little flat punch, it goes down pretty small. This is by EK Success. You can find this in the Amazon storefront. It allows that you can put your punch in like this. If you have a regular circle punch, you can turn it to the flat side. You won't be able to see like I'm seeing. That's why it makes these flat punches are really handy when you're using them upside down. I'm just putting a little notch right there, just to kind of keep things consistent about where those pockets are. All right, and then I've already covered this page. Okay, we have another pocket here, another pocket here. Okay, and then on this pocket, remember this is where we trimmed off the end of the envelope. I have a tip for you on that, a little something I ran into. So when you are covering a page that has this kind of thing in it, maybe that doesn't have the acetate or cellophane on it, and you're covering it with paper, don't put glue right here, because then your pages will stick together on the inside, and I had that happen. So I was like, oh no, and I kind of had to break that apart. All right, so what we can do with the other end that we opened, we can take this one, once again, just about a third, like that. And I just love really putting notches on them. I just think it's charming. And don't forget the other side. All right. I think we're just about done with the base part. All right, so we've done all of this. This gets folded in, and this gets folded this way. Oops. There's so many different ways you can fold it. You could fold it in this way. You could fold it back this way, so they're all kind of folded in together. And like this. Then you've got this piece here. Ooh, I think I got some glue that's stuck. There we go. This is self-adhesive from the envelope, of course. So it would be a good idea, I think, to put a strip of something right there. And I think I will do that. I'll like go cut some paper down and put a little strip there, because the glue on the front is making this a little tacky, and then we don't want those envelopes to go through. So now we just have to come up with some things to put inside of our little pockets, some tags, adding maybe some of the cutouts from the cutout sheet. And remember, we have all of these strips of paper left over to make some tags with. All right, I'm just making some tags to go in the pockets. So I took my little 2-inch circle punch and I cut 2 circles, and then you cut 1 in half and then ink the edges, and then we're just going to glue this one to the bottom of this one. Make sure it's lined up. Oops. There we go. Like that. And then for this one, I just added a little length of ribbon and stapled it and put one of the little cutouts in there. And then you've got a cute little circle pocket that can go right in here, a little circle pocket tag. And then let's see. I love using my tag punch. This makes 1.5 inch, 2 inch, and 2.5 inch tags. You just need to make sure that your paper width is one of those widths. So this little strip of leftover scrap is 1.5 inches wide. Just gonna push it all the way in there because it's quite small. It's gonna come out like this. Oh, it's a little crooked there. And then it's a 2-inch length, like this. I think I'll start over on that one. Okay, here's one that is 2 inches, like that one. It kind of cut into our birdhouse a little bit. And then you can like tear the edges of these and then ink them. And then layer them one on top of the other. You can either thread them with ribbon, you can thread them with a little brad. This is actually like a larger brad, paper fastener. I think what it makes the difference between a brad and a paper fastener is paper fasteners usually have much larger tongs on them, and these are smaller, meant for paper crafts. And then you can have these just go either in these pockets right here. They can go in these pockets really nicely. Like this, you could put photos in there, you could put a gift card in there. You just want to make sure, like on this one, you want to make sure it goes down far enough so it doesn't get in that little bend, cause you a problem. You can put things in this one. On this side, I have a little tag here where I just took a strip and I just cut the edges even. I added a little gold dazzle sticker that says Cherish on it. Put that right in here. And then you can just fold this up. I think this would be a nice little surprise for a friend's birthday. You can write little notes, you could include little photos on there. And then for the front cover, let's add something right there. I know I want to add a couple of little flowers. They were way across the room. All right. And you can buy these at Paper Wishes. They're just little paper flowers with pearls on them. They're so sweet. You can just add a few up here. Oh, I wanted a pink one. There we go. I think just like this, or maybe like that. And then you can just use the same glue that I was using. This is Cosmic Shimmer glue, and you can get that at Paper Wishes. There's a link for that. I like this one because it really works nicely. It allows you to have a little bit of wiggle room if you need to move things around, but it pretty much dries very quickly, and it absorbs kind of that paper and really sticks well. Okay, we have that, and then we can add tiny little words. How about we just do, I like to keep these generic because, as you recall, I like to give away my projects to my subscriber friends. So if you're new here, how that works is every week I do a project, and then when I'm done, I like to give everybody a chance to win it. So one person. We say everybody and it makes it like, no, not everybody. And all you have to do is like, comment, and subscribe. And then you do have to come back next week, there is a catch, and watch next week's video to see if your name is announced within the video. And we will announce it by using your very specific YouTube username. Everybody has a username for YouTube, and you've got to know what it is if you want to win. And then we give you instructions on how to claim your prize. And then I will mail it to you in some Happy Mail. If you are interested in helping me pay for shipping, anyone can make a donation to my channel. There's a couple of ways you can do that. You can do the Buy Me a Cup of Coffee, which the link for that is down below. You could do a Super Thanks, which is also down below the video. Those are really helpful because I give these projects away for free, and whoever gets them is under no obligation to pay me anything. But yeah, it does get expensive shipping out 4 projects a month. All right, so there's our cute little envelope book, you guys, just made from 3 little envelopes. I hope you enjoyed this today. I always have so much fun. If you're so inclined, I would really appreciate if you hop on over to Instagram and check out what I have going on there. I like to post like 2 to 3 new videos a month over there, some of them featuring new projects, and sometimes if you guys like them there, I bring them over to YouTube and do a longer format video for those. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time.